Hey guys, what's cracking? Somebody give me a 5 for 5, and we'll roll into this, guys. I'm going to make this one very, very quick for everybody. I just want to give updates on what's going on, okay? Just so everybody understands. That's what I'm going to be doing probably throughout the rest of the weekend. I hope you guys, I hope you guys understand that. And, yeah. So, what do we got going on? Well, like I said before, guys, we are definitely in for a ride. This is going to be something that is, well, let me just say this. They put out their, NOAA put out their warnings and watches, and this is the page you go to, guys. So if I was you guys, I would go here. If you guys says network outage notice, I don't know what's going on with that. That was on here Monday, May 13th. Okay, that must be a major net. Okay, that's good to know. You guys see that? Space Weather Prediction Center major network upgrade has been rescheduled for Monday. My guess is, well, it wouldn't be because of the storm because they scheduled it back in April. Okay, well then never mind that. But we are definitely looking at some activity, guys. I did my live stream earlier today. This is the biggest watch they've issued, most severe watch they've issued since 2005. That's almost 20 years, guys. That is a big deal. Okay, G4. Now remember what I said here. Okay, they try to be as accurate as they can, but they tend to lean on the low side of things. So I want to point that out. I don't want to come out here and say grid down, grid down, grid down. I'm not going to do that because I cannot say that. I can't say that with a clear conscience. I can't say that with anything because I don't know if that is what's going to happen. Obviously, we can't know that. But what I can tell you is that I can give you my opinion on what's going on and what's happening. Now, there's a couple things that I see. Hey, thank you, Tab P. Appreciate you. Thank you for the gifted membership. Who got that? Hey, IG got that. Isaiah's Granny got that one. Awesome. Awesome sauce, guys. Okay. So, with all that being said, what are we all, what are we all got our, skirts up over top of our head for, right? Well, guys, this is significant. This is not something people are taking lightly, and they shouldn't. Remember, 2005. That was the last sun cycle. Like, the beginning of it. So, it's almost made it 2 sun cycles before this happened again. Right? So, keep that in mind. This is not I've never, ever seen a storm like this. Not even just reported. I've never even actually seen it with my eyes. Because before I started doing my channel, I had dug into this for a couple years, just kind of looking at it, just kind of browsing through things. But this is one thing that I have not seen. This is a significant thing, and there's a couple things that some people are missing. And that's why I got 6 CMEs in the title, because that's what we're seeing. And I'm going to explain to you why, and I'm going to try to run this down for you guys as quick as I can, and in the most accurate, I guess entertaining way. But I don't want people to freak out. There is absolutely no fear. You might hear some excited, tones in my voice or whatever, but this is what I do, okay? So I get excited when I see stuff like this, so please cut me a break on that end of it. I'm not trying to upplay things. As a matter of fact, I'm probably on the low end of things too, okay? Because I am not going to be the one that comes out here and cries wolf. Not happening. I've resisted doing that my whole time I've been on YouTube. I see so many other people doing it, giving you quote-unquote critical updates. Yeah, I mean, now because there is something that could actually be critical, the people that heard that for years coming up to this are going to just think this is nothing. That's why I say that kind of thing. This gets me fired up, and yes, I'm ranting for a minute because I want you guys to understand where I'm at. You know, I'm not going to come out here and say a bunch of BS to you guys. I'm not going to play it up, and I'm not going to play it down. I might end up on the low end of things, but that's where I'm at. So I hope people understand that, especially this weekend. Take this serious enough to at least be aware and watch what's happening. That's what I'm trying to tell everybody. This is nothing to be afraid of, okay? If you're aware and you're prepared, you have nothing to worry about. That's why we're doing this now. Now, people go straight to the Carrington event, right? And that's a good place to start because that's really where space weather started. I mean, that's where that is one of the critical points that we refer to all the time. So since then, you know, everybody goes back to that. Has that happened since? This, and this, right? We've had major outages before, guys. 1989 Canadian blackout, right? We had rolling blackouts just the other day in Mexico. We had just all kinds of crazy things going on with the systems during all these solar flares. So what I'm trying to say, guys, this is real stuff. This is not something that we're just out here blowing smoke, okay? So let me start here. I'm going to go back to the home page of NOAA here. Let's go back to the home page. That's the home page. Hold on. Let's go to the dashboard. I'm going to go down here to the dashboard, and we're going to go to Space Weather Prediction Center, and this is the Space Weather Enthusiast dashboard, right? So first thing you guys are going to notice is this, and I'm not going to stay on this graph very long, so don't worry about that. Guys, we're talking 10, 12 different X flares. This is something that, like I said, and I'm probably going to say this 1,000 times, this is something I've never seen. Okay? It's just something I've not been here to report on it. I've not seen any of this stuff before. This is all kind of, you know, this part of seeing this activity during solar, you know, moving up to solar maximum or in solar maximum, this kind of activity. So all those are X flares. Remember what I said earlier. We've got enough sunspots and they're intense enough facing Earth. And let me show you what I mean by that. Okay, if you look here, you see all these other sunspots. Those little bright spots that you're seeing, those are the sunspots, and it's producing X-ray at all times. So what that does, it brings this baseline up the more of that's facing Earth. So with that being said, it doesn't take much more of a flash from any place on the sun to put us up into X-class range. Okay? We usually hang out down here. We're not even close to that right now. We're way up here. If the sun didn't even flare again, we would still be close to radio blackout conditions. That's how much X-ray is being produced right now. So keep that in mind also. Now, when we're talking about the flares, we're talking X-ray, right? It's here in 8 minutes and it's gone just about as quick. I'm just being honest with that. So if we come down here and we look at the absorption model, what are we going to see? We're going to see this target show up. That's the day side of the planet. That's when the flares are hitting. Notice it doesn't go away right now. Okay? During solar minimum, this whole thing is just black. You don't see nothing here hardly ever unless you get a big flare. But as you can see, the bigger flares start happening here. Okay? That was the last right there. That was dead smack over the United States. Okay, that was just a couple hours ago. That would be this flare right here. Okay? If it's not an X flare, it's close to it. Close enough to call it an X flare. Okay? So radio blackouts. Right? R3 radio blackouts, which is very considerable. Okay? Let me get the space weather scales up for you because I want to be able to refer to this for you guys as I'm doing this. Okay, so when we're talking about flares, this is their warning system, right? What we could expect. R3, wide area blackout of high frequency radio communications. Okay, we understand what that is. Loss of radio contact for about an hour on the sunlit side of Earth, the day side. Low frequency navigation signals degraded for about an hour. That's usually about the extent of what we see. Okay? But with what's going on now, we're having a constant, right about an R1 radio blackout at all times. So any extra X-ray is going to start wreaking havoc with ham radio operators, first responders, the communications they use. This has already been an issue yesterday during the big tornadoes and the day before, where they were getting warnings put out about 10 minutes later than they should have been. They were having problems with their system at the time we were getting these flares. So don't think that this is something we can just turn a blind eye to, because we definitely cannot. Now, I'm not trying to play this up. This is just what it is, okay? And I'm not saying grid down. I'll talk about that more here in just a minute. But you guys have always heard me say, hey, if it's going to be grid down, I'm most likely not going to be able to come out here and tell you about it. When we're talking about like a one single kill shot, okay, I would not be able to get here. It would happen too fast. Okay? So what I'm saying is the CME from a flare of that size would be moving so fast that I wouldn't have time to do it. Okay? The power would just go out, and hopefully you guys have learned enough about space weather that you wouldn't get scared. You know, that's the whole purpose of this, so we understand what's going on. So, yeah. Now, when we look at these, this is that big sunspot, and I'm going to start down here. Look at this sunspot. This sunspot here is just humongous. That's all I can say about this. It's humongous. It is absolutely one of the biggest, most complex sunspots I've ever seen here. Okay? I'm not saying there hasn't been other ones, because there most certainly probably has. Okay? But yeah, so you got that. Now, I want to stop and get a roll call if I could, guys. Just let me know where you're at in the chat. Give me a region. I'd love to see that in the chat if you could. And thank you guys to all the guys that are becoming members of the channel. It's helping me and my family more than I could ever say. So thank you guys for that. Everybody that's been gifting memberships, thank you. And everybody that's been joining. I'm doing members only live streams probably once a week. This week is a little different because of all this. But I just wanted to, step in there and say that. But please share this out. That's the best way you can support. And become a member. Really, that's the best way we can support. Because we just want to push this out, right? So anyway, you got this sunspot. This sunspot is a beast. No other way to say it. No other way to say it. This thing, when you see the reds and blues, you're talking about magnetic polarity. Negative and positive. So what are we seeing? Huh? We're seeing a lot of mixing of that, right? You would think you would only have one negative and one positive. That's not how these things work, okay? And I'm not going to go into detail why that is, but when you start seeing these things start swimming around, being very, very just, haphazardly just rolling around each other here like they're just rolling in the leaves, right? What we're seeing here, when that happens, we get those reconnection points. Those reconnection points, when that happens, that's when you get the flare. So the more you see these reds and blues intermingling, it's a very unstable sunspot. And it obviously it's harboring enough energy to produce X flares. Because it's been doing it like it's just what it was supposed to do since it became in existence. And that's another point I want to make. This thing has not been alive for very long. This thing didn't show up till it was right here. So, and it grew that fast. It's about a week old, I think. Something about that, right? Now, remember, the equatorial regions of the sun rotate faster than the pole areas, okay? That's why we see the sunspots in the areas that they are. The sun's not a rock like the Earth is. It's made out of a big old plasma ball, right? Or it could be, I don't know exactly what's in the center, and I don't think anybody knows what's in the core, okay? There's a lot of theories, but regardless, the equatorial regions of the sun rotate faster than the polar regions, and that's why we see the sunspots migrate as the sun cycle progresses towards the equator. And then it'll have the sun has a pole reversal, and that's basically the restart of your sun cycle. Okay, and there is no set day or anything for a sun cycle. They don't even, depend on or even consider that until well after, and they tell you after the fact. So that's what I would say. Hey, Ron, thank you, brother. Appreciate that. Thanks for those gifted memberships. It's awesome. Thank you, man. I really do appreciate that. Big time, I appreciate that. Awesome stuff, guys. Awesome stuff. So, yeah. Let's just put that up there for everybody to see. Can they all see it? I don't know. Let's find out. Can we see that or not? Yep, it's up there. Hey, Ron. Heck yeah, baby. Heck yeah. Thank you. And hopefully I can earn those memberships, guys. That's my goal. Okay? So thank you guys for everybody that does help in that way. I know that it's not easy today in today's world, and I appreciate everything that anybody does in that aspect. Coming out of their own pocket for anything, it means more to me than I just can't even express it enough. So, okay. Now, because this sunspot is so big, we also had this one up here. This one kind of took over. We can't forget that this thing up here was blowing X flares too. We had a filament release, okay? These dark shadows, these magnetic connection lines, up here, it didn't flare or anything. The flare was down here, and it made it unstable enough that this filament erupted off. Okay? So, yeah, that's what we're seeing on that. And with all this, you can see even just doing that. Look at all the activity. Now, I'm going to take you guys over to SDO here in a second, but, and we'll look at more detailed on the extreme ultraviolet. But what I want to point out here, guys, this is SOHO, okay? It's a satellite a million miles closer to the sun. This is where people started missing things, okay? And the reason why, right here, we had missing data, right? Now, we say it's missing data, but the data is actually there, okay? It just isn't right here in this spot. The other websites, you know, they get the data collection from this satellite. And all the websites, the schools, the agencies that use these, they get the data from the same place. They just put it in their own models and put them on their own dashboards and web pages. Okay? So it is all coming from the same place, the original data. But after that, you have to consider the fact that these guys are on their own and they're doing their own thing. So sometimes you can find information and data and models that are working on one site and not on the other. And even inside its own site, you can have issues. Let me explain. Here on the 5th, see how that's gray? I can't even click on that. It's not going to give me anything. Because normally when you click on it, it does this, right? That's 2000. That was on the 4th. It ain't giving us no data for that either. But here on the 6th, this is what it typically looks like, right? So let me go here. But if I come down here, because this is a CME detector, right? That's what it's supposed to be doing. You can come back and scroll down, and all the data, well, a lot of the data for the 5th is there. Guess what? Look right here. What's this? This is a CME that happened on the 5th. See it? I think I was probably the only one that showed it to anybody. Because nobody else knew where to, well, they probably knew, they just probably forgot about it, right? And that's okay. I mean, I'm not trying to take a shot or anything, but that's exactly what that is. And that's why I show you guys how to do these things and do it in different ways. I've always shown you guys this. So nobody's even talking about that CME. And that CME it could actually be hitting us right now. And because we are taking some sort of a hit right now. How do I know that? Well, let's go to right here. You see how everything started moving in the space weather data? Everything did. Density, speed. This is our BZ. That's the magnetic polarity orientation of our magnetic field. That's very important. When it gets to -6, that's a threshold we look for. That means we're just in a magnetic position to accept all this space weather. If it was in the positive, guess what? It actually does the opposite. It will deflect it better. Okay? Now, bigger eruptions are going to overcome that anyway. But with the -6, that's the threshold we use, and it'll light up purple here. But notice how everything started moving at the same time. So that's either like a coronal hole stream, highly charged particles moving very fast, hitting Earth that came from the sun, or it could be a CME, right? That's what we're talking about now. These big eruptions hitting. It could be that one on the 5th could actually be what we're seeing. Okay? In the model right now. we could actually be seeing this particular CME right here hitting us, because you can see kind of a halo. Now I can't say for certain, and frankly, guys, this one's so small that I'm not concerned about it, right? So I mean, I'm not even gonna waste any more time on that. I use that just for an example to show you guys that you guys can still get this data if you go look. You can still see the stuff if you go look in the right places. Okay? So with that being said, the next thing I want to talk about, guys, is I'm just going to show you what's happened since the 6th. Okay, we're going to run through this, right? So a halo is energy that we see, or plasma, that pokes around this disk. This disk is actually on the camera itself. It blocks the main light of the sun. Without that there, we get no imaging. Okay? So with that there, what do we see? Well, we see stuff kind of poking around the edge. We call that a halo CME. When that's happening, we know it's either coming right at us or it's going directly off the backside. Now here on the 6th, there wasn't much activity. That was actually right there. That was an X flare that produced a CME that went way north of Earth. Okay? And also, when you're talking about the sun, east-west is actually reversed. Okay? You got to pretend you're standing on the sun. So, if we go to the 7th, this is when stuff really starts acting up. Okay? So, you're seeing these other little signatures, energy kind of poke around, producing at least partial halos. That was a full halo. So, these things are happening here, even here on the 7th. That's why it's hard to count them. I'm not so sure it is exactly 6. It could be 7, 8, I don't know. It's hard to see all of it. So much is happening. So if we go to the 8th, this is when it got real, okay? I'll just say it like that. I'm going to slow it down, and we're going to take a little bit of a slower look at that. So let me just do that real quick. And as this rotates through, I'm going to put it faster for a second. Okay, so it's getting ready to come to the turn of the day. Now check this out. Okay, I'm going to count them with you guys. All right? So we got 1 right there. That's a full halo coming directly at Earth, right? We're getting ready to come up on the second one. There's the second one coming right at Earth. That's directly at Earth, by the way. You don't get much more centered. There's number 3 coming, right? Right there. That was 3 of them right there, possibly 4, just on the 8th. Okay? Here's the 9th. That's today. There were 2 of them today, guys. That's 6. Right there, just in those 2 days. Coming at Earth. Alright? So I want to stress that. Please understand this. This is something that, again, I've not seen this before. And I'm timid to sit here and say it's going to be massive grid down stuff. I don't know that it is. Right? I've already explained to you why. But what I'm saying is that this is still could be very significant. And if those storm conditions line up, yes, we could see very bad things. But I'm not going to sit here and say that that's absolutely going to happen. All I can tell you is show you the data, and I nowcast. That's what I do here, for those that don't know. Okay? For those that don't know, I nowcast. I don't try to forecast. I come out and report on things as they're happening. And so I hope you guys appreciate that, because I don't want to get things wrong, and I don't want to overplay things or underplay them. That's why, one of the reasons why. Most people that try to forecast, their accuracy is not really all that great. I have to say. Unless you're an official agency, and even that, it's hard for them to get it right a lot of the time. The sun's 93 million miles away, guys. A lot of things can happen between here and there. And it's just a big thing, right? So, anyway, here is the second eruption. Okay? Now, let's go. It's going to skip some time here, I think. Yeah, it skipped about 5 hours right there. So, look what happened in that missing 5 hours. Watch. That's another eruption, guys. That's another halo eruption. So, that's either 2 or 3 just on the 9th. So, we've got multiple things coming at us. These are not moving at breakneck speed, but they're not moving slow either. Okay, so let me explain. I'm going to take you back up. Let me get rid of that first. I'll take you guys back here, and we're going to take a look at NOAA's forecast. This is their end little spiral. This is the model that shows us top down, right? And this is a side cut. Density is here. Velocity is here. Now, those that have watched me for a long time, or even just for a minute, have already heard me explain this, but this usually shows like 0 to 10, not 100. It's actually showing like 120 on the top there, okay? That's density. Normal is 4, okay? Now, there's a whole lot that plays into that, and I don't take too much stock in just saying, hey, it's dense, it's going to give us a huge hit, because that's just simply not true, okay? Now, the velocity, okay, 3 to 500 kilometers per second is what we consider normal, or just ambient solar wind. This is saying close to 900. What does that mean? That is just about 2.5 million miles per hour. Rule of thumb, for every, I think it's, yeah, for every 400 kilometers per second, that's 1 million miles per hour. And you can do all the calculations, get the converters and all that online. It's all free. I mean, it's not hard to do. So you can figure that out if you really want to know the exact speed. There's also a lot of the models will have data where you can go look at their data, and then inside the model it'll tell you how fast it's moving too. Okay, but yes, that's fast. Okay, but it's not. I'll just say it like this: it's not Carrington level fast, because that CME got here I think in like 15 hours. If 1 or 2 of these was moving at that Carrington level speed, we probably wouldn't be having this conversation, because everything would be out probably, just to be honest with you, okay? Because this is a situation that if we had the speed and everything, it just would be that, right? Okay, so, okay, oh, thank you for the super chat, RMB 1213. Love it. Thank you, RMB. I really appreciate that. That's very generous. Thank you. My wife says thanks too. My wife is my best friend, guys, and so that just is what it is. And she's more involved with this channel than what you guys could ever know. She just is. So I'll just leave it at that. But again, thank you again for your generosity. It's much appreciated, and I wish that I had a way to give more to you guys. I really truly do. I just don't, guys. I really wish I could. But I try to give it back in my effort here on the channel. So if you want to become a member, come on the members live stream. We're really close already with each other. But I would also say this, that we're becoming closer in that also. The connection's there, right? I wish I could do that just across the board, but you can't with all, it's just too much to deal with just doing the whole YouTube on that level. So the members thing, that's why I did it, so we could have a better connection. So, but my family really appreciates all of that, guys. Okay, so let me show you what people are missing here. Okay, and I missed it. Let me just say that straight up. I missed it too. When I showed you guys this model earlier, I didn't see what I seen when I went back and looked. I told you guys that, remember yesterday it was showing 1 or 2 of the CMEs, right? And then today it looked like it was showing 3. Leah, thank you, sister. You don't have to do that, girl. I mean, you do enough work for this channel already. What the heck? Just tell her thanks, guys. I mean, she's, yeah, for real. Thank you. That's, yeah. Thanks, Leah. I really appreciate that. I appreciate you, your friendship, and all of it. I mean, guys, we're pretty close as a mod crew over on Marfoogle, just so you guys know. We're all mods over there too. So, but anyway, thank you, Ali. I appreciate you. Now, what I'm saying here, guys, we had these CMEs erupting, right? And I said it was showing 3 today. Well, guess what? It's not showing 3. It's showing 4. And let me show you what I'm talking about. And I might not be able to show you too well, because I can't really zoom in here. Let me see if I can't do this a different way, guys. Give me 1 second, okay? Please. Sorry for the delay here, but I want to give you guys a real close look, because there were 2 CMEs that popped off almost at the exact same time, and nobody's talking about that. They're all saying it's just 1 CME, and it's not. So let's go over here, and let's see here. The models. This is the Enlil spiral. I think this is it. Okay, maybe this will let me zoom in a little bit more. Doesn't look like it. Sorry guys, that's as close as I'm going to be able to get you. Okay, but anyway, we'll analyze this like this. Okay, so you see the first one popping off there, right? And as I'm popping it off there, look what's right behind it. There's 2 CMEs there, guys. You see the separation? Okay, you might have to zoom in. I don't know. But check that out. Okay? So, what do we got here? This complicates things. And let me explain. Because I said earlier, we had a cannibal CME, right? And a CME behind it. We had 2 CMEs that became a cannibal CME. And then we had the CME behind it. That's what this model was showing, right? Well, my gosh, we're getting more. Trish, thank you. Thank you so much for the gifted memberships. Really appreciate it, guys. I wish I had a way to say thanks in a bigger way than what we normally can. Yeah, there's just not a word for how I feel about that, guys. It's yeah. So, anyway, there's 2 CMEs there. So, that one in the behind catches up really quick with the one in the front. So guess what? That's immediately a cannibal CME. They don't eat one another. They don't combine. They get really close and they look like they're one. Okay? Because of magnetics, they don't really combine. Because positive and positive, they deflect each other. Now, if some of them can be negative and this, that, and the third. But what I will say... Oh, we got another one in there I missed. Hold on. Hold on, guys. Sorry. I'm not gonna apologize for telling people thanks, just so you know, guys. So please bear with me here, because I want to tell Itchy, thank you so much. Really do appreciate that. Itchy, well, I can't see the rest of your name there. What's the rest of your name? Let me try to... I'm a one-man show here, guys. Itchy Yander, that's you. Okay, cool. Cool, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you for that generosity. Hey, Mary. Okay, now, again, that's a cannibal CME, right? It becomes 1, almost. It doesn't really technically, but it's close. Now, let me say this. Watch as we go forward here. Oh, it ain't moving. Hold on. Let me go here, okay? And then look. You see, you can even see it better there. So that automatically becomes more dense. See how it instantly turned black right there? That's the high density. See the chart over here? The range? Now watch the third one. There's the third one right there. Watch. Catches up to it. So you got a cannibal CME with another CME causing a double cannibal. And then you got another one right behind it. And there's more after this, guys. It's just we don't have it yet. They're not showing it. So this is massive when we're talking about all this. This is something that's going to be very hard to forecast. It's going to be very hard to nail down exactly what's going to happen. And I don't think any of us are going to be able to tell. But because of the speed that this is showing, 900, I do think it's because of that third CME right there in the middle. Now also keep in mind, in between these CMEs, when they're this close, it acts like a snowplow. It grabs all these particles, it rolls them up, just like a snowplow would, and it's like a CME itself in between the CMEs. There's another shock wave in between them. And that's the same thing with any time a CME catches up with one in the front of it. So we got, these 3 right here, you really have like 5 or 6 different shock waves that are just hitting from those 3. Then you add the 4th. I mean, this is going to get so hard to forecast, it's crazy. Okay? And that's why I'm not going to even attempt to try to forecast. I'm going to give you my opinion on what I think might happen, but I'm not going to go any further than that because it would just simply be irresponsible of me to do that. I could come out here and start screaming from the rooftops, right? Is it going to do anybody any good? No, it's not. So I'm just going to come out here and tell you what I think. And that's what I'm doing right now, and I hope you guys appreciate that. I don't want to be the man that cries wolf. I'm not going to be. I've fought that my whole time here on YouTube because I've seen it happening. And let me tell you something, guys. Those of you guys out there that are doing that crying wolf stuff, it affects real people. Quit doing it. Just quit doing it. Hey, Jill D. Yeah, hey, there's one of my internet mamas. One of my internet mamas from, yeah, let's just, I won't say where you're from, but you're awesome. Hey, by the way, Heather says hi, Jill. Thank you. Thank you for that. I really appreciate that. Hey, Piper Lynn. Okay, so now I also want to point something else out here too, guys. You see this? There's almost 100% chance of R1, R2 blackouts for the next 3 days. Radio blackouts. What's that mean? Those are M-class flares. Now they're saying 60% chance for the next 3 days of an X-class flare. Why are they saying all that? Because of that one sunspot. Okay? Now, let me go here. I'm trying to find the best way to show you what's going on here. Okay, so this is SDO. This is a satellite that's in what we call geosynchronistic orbit. Okay? Let me go here. That looks like a new movie that they put out. A new movie tool here. Let's find out. Okay, sweet. It's giving us a different look now. That's new. That one there at the top, that's a new one. Oh, okay. It just hadn't flipped around yet. But some of these are kind of, these little movie tools are new. Anyway, this is going to show you how the satellite operates and from what perspective. So what you're seeing is called geosynchronistic orbit. Literally what that means is it rotates around Earth's axis at the same speed as we rotate. Okay? It orbits Earth at the same speed as Earth rotates on its axis, which is 15 degrees an hour. But it also rolls its eye and turns its eye to the sun at all times. It does this figure 8 pattern right here over this part of our planet at all times. It doesn't go over here to Hawaii or over here over Africa. It stays right here. So that means it's actually on the dark side of the planet for a number of hours each day. But for most part, it's able to see around Earth. Okay? Every once in a while, we have basically 2 eclipse seasons for the satellite. The Earth will pass between the satellite and the sun. That's what happens. Okay? Every once in a while. And you'll see it on you'll see it on the models here. Okay? But what we won't see is, like, it's hard to catch like a planet going in front, like Mercury. You can see it. It's real small when it happens, but it's very, very few times are you able to catch something like that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take us back to the 7th here. Okay, this is from SDO. I'm going to leave it on the 171. What is that? That's a part of the light spectrum that we cannot see with our eyes. Okay, what that means is they put a filter on the camera. So the filter is meant to see specific gases. Okay, there's all kinds of different gases that the sun's made up of and puts off, right? So we look at this one for whatever reason you want to look at it, right? But let me just point out a few things here. Obviously that looked a little nutty, didn't it? That is that's what we call a calibration roll. It has to do that every once in a while to make sure that the satellite's operating properly and to find its home, to make sure we know where it's at, right? So we can tell it what direction to move if we need to. Now, can you guys see this sunspot? Look at this thing. This thing is absolutely just, I don't have words for it. It is simply just, it's so active, I just don't know what to say. Look at this. It's constant. Now, we're going to see a different look when we look at a different angstrom, okay? And why do we look at different angstroms? Because we want to see different visuals to get a better idea of what's actually happening. We get more detail, we get all that, right? Now, so let me back this back off. And this is the 171. We see a lot of the corona in this one, this particular angstrom of light. Our human eyes can only see just a little bit of the light spectrum. That's a little known fact, I guess. For most people, don't really realize that. The light spectrum's huge. X-ray, I mean, it goes everything, guys. So, yeah. So that's what's happening with that. But you can see how active that is. But I already explained the calibration role. Now, let's back this off and let's go to, I'm going to take you to the 94 angstrom. And this one's going to be green. They can make this any color they wanted, by the way. Okay? They don't have to make it green. They can make it anything they want. This one just happens to be baby poop green. Okay? But yeah. So yeah. Hey, everybody. I'm saying hi. Hey, can I get another roll call in there? Just to kind of get an idea where everybody's coming from. Yeah, Matthew Shipley, guys. Get over and check out his channel. He's awesome. Just so you guys know. He's got the, in my opinion, the best graphics. Just go check him out. He's on my awesome channel list, and he's a great dude too. He's a military man. He knows what he's doing. He's very intelligent. So guys, please go check it out. He puts a lot of work. He's got like 8K. Hey Kim Waxman, thank you. Thank you so much, Kim. I appreciate that. But yeah, Matthew Shipley is just a real upstanding dude, man. I mean, he just really is. I don't mean to call him a dude. I just, yeah, you know what I mean, guys. And me, I'm a moderator over on his channel, and yeah, he's just a real good guy. So, and it's got some of the best graphics you're ever gonna see. Okay, I could probably take you there, but it'll ruin my chat box here. Thank you again, Kim. I really appreciate that. My wife says thank you too. So let me just pause this, and so as I move this forward, look at this. Okay, now I know you guys are seeing that thing jump around, right? And it's normal to be like, what the heck is that, right? But see all that? See how much different of a look we get now just by changing the light spectrum? This is a different gas. You see that big eruption there? That was on the 8th. It's probably the biggest one. And then you had another one right there, and another one there. And then you got that crazy roll, right? That's the calibration roll. People were asking me because on other light spectrums, on other angstroms, that roll doesn't show up as much. You don't get the little cutoff here of the lens. So they were wondering why this sunspot in this X-flare was actually like rotating. Well, it's because the X-flare happened at the exact time that the calibration roll was going on. I don't know if I've ever seen that before, but that's what happened. So if I take it back, I'll show you what I mean. Okay, so here we go. Here starts the roll. Okay. There's your X-flare. Now watch, see how the images are like spinning? And the reason they're spinning is because the satellite itself is spinning. It's rolling. Okay? But it still keeps it centered for you to see. But that's why that sunspot's actually, you know, showing up that way. Okay? It's a very legitimate question. When you see something like that, you should ask. Because it is very odd. Now remember, this one up here was firing stuff too. Okay? So let's take a look at let's go ahead and look at the 131. And the reason why, this one will show sunspots really well. The flares. And it also gives us a little bit more detail in some of the other areas. But you don't see the hazy corona as much. That's going to be the difference here when we're talking about the different kinds of views we're seeing. Man, that thing is moving slow. Well, while that's loading, I do want to take you over here to Dr. Tony Phillips' webpage. And this is spaceweather.com. Guys, please come over here and show him all kinds of love. This man has done an awesome job with this. I've never even talked to Dr. Tony Phillips, but he is most certainly one of the most intelligent people that I've seen talk about this kind of stuff, space weather. And he does some really good stuff that nobody has done before. And let me show you what I'm talking about. I do want to fix this real quick. Sorry. Okay, now, what I'm talking about is, if you scroll down, this is him. This near-Earth object, near-Earth asteroids, okay? They call them PHAs, particularly hazardous asteroids. He's done this where they archive this, right? So what I'm saying is, when you see this, when they discover an asteroid or a meteorite, what they do is they put the year in the front and then they name it. So look at all the years that the asteroids and meteorites were discovered. Most of them are 2024. Why is that? So you know what I mean? That would be cool, Miss V. That's if anybody has any avenue there, that would be cool. That would be very cool. What'd you say there, Trinity? I'm missing something here. Okay, please share. Yes, thank you, Trinity. Guys, get out and check out Trinity's channel and all the mods and everybody else that has channels here, guys. Anybody that has a channel, feel free to put your link in there. The ones that can. I don't know. Not everybody has permission to put links in the chat. But anyway, please put your links in there. The ones that know that I approve. But anyway, the near-Earth objects, what you're going to see here, guys, they measure it in lunar distance. The distance between us and the sun, or us and the moon. Okay, so when we look at this stuff, the diameter comes into play. None of these are extremely big. This is the distance that they miss. So when you scroll down through here and you see one that says 0.8, that means that asteroid or meteorite came closer to Earth than what the moon is. Okay? And every once in a while you'll come over here and it'll say 0.0, because sometimes they're that close, or sometimes they even just come on in and our atmosphere will burn it up. But I wanted to give Dr. Tony Phillips some credit on that, because that's something that none of us had until he did this. So please go show him some love at spaceweather.com. Also, I want to bring this up, and I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on this because I'm not sure exactly if it matters a whole lot. But what they've done here is, what Dr. Tony Phillips is doing here, is showing you what the Carrington event sunspot looks like. Right here. This is the sunspot that we're dealing with right now. And those are the positions, I believe, of where they were at. I can't remember exactly if the Carrington event was right here. It was close to that area, if I'm correct. But you see how they're doing that because it very much resembles each other. Now, that's not going to play into into factor when we're talking about how strong things are, right? But this is just something that is just, that's uncanny. It really is. Those sunspots look very similar, and now we're getting all this stuff happening. It's nuts. So that's what I'll say there. I don't know what to say on that one. I have to stop with that. But anyway, yes, that last flare was an X1 class. Okay, but look, guys, he's talking about the same thing I am, and the reason why is we report on the same stuff. G4. I have to keep saying that. Because, guys, I'm telling you, they are at the low end of that. Thank you, Tab, for putting that in there. I appreciate you. That's on the low end, okay? So if any of these storms start lining up in the quote-unquote perfect storm kind of orientation, I guess, if you want to say it that way, if the timing lines up, or our BZ, the polarity of our magnetic field, if that's in the proper position as all this stuff starts hitting, I just don't know if we're going to stay at a G4. We could get to a G5. And that's really kind of what my opinion is. If I want to put percentages on this, I would be more inclined to say something like, G4 is, in my opinion, is probably 85 to 90% going to happen. That's just my opinion, okay? But to scale that on up to a G5, what I would say is there's probably, in my opinion, and I know this is going to sound kind of high, but in my opinion, I think it's about a 50% chance that we're going to get to a G5 if all these CMEs hit like they're showing they are. Okay? Now, again, I can't control any of that. I mean, and again, guys, you know, it's just my opinion. All right? So, and everybody else is welcome to disagree because I actually encourage that. Because what's that do? It starts conversation. And if people are honest with each other and they're being just, you know, not intellectually dishonest, you know what that means, right? Intellectually dishonest means most likely you think what you're saying is wrong, but you won't look into it to prove it to yourself. So you just run with it and turn a blind eye to what the truth could be. That's called intellectual dishonesty. And we see that a lot here. People will just ignore things and not, you know, address it. So, you know, we don't do that here. I'm going to tell you what I think, and I'm going to nowcast for you. And that's where it's going to go. That's what I do here. So, I appreciate everybody letting me do that. You know, I leave my chat pretty much free as long as it's not vulgar. One thing I will not allow, I want to say this in the chat because it's important. We do not slam other channels whatsoever. No negativity at all talked about other channels, even if you know that I don't like those people. Okay? Because all that does is stir up drama, and that's not why I'm here. At all. Period. So we won't let that slide. If it's vulgar, if you attack somebody else in the chat, that's an immediate see you later type of thing. But I wanted to say that because I don't say it often enough, I don't think. And people kind of get a little too free at times, if that makes any sense to you. But, so just let me, yeah. Ripper, I can't tell you how much I appreciate your friendship, man. You and Trinity and Aaliyah and everybody else, you guys are awesome. I just, yeah. I don't have a whole lot of real friends in my life, and I found some good ones here, guys. I really have. So, all you guys are included in on that, by the way. But check this out, guys. I mean, see how much clearer this is? Of a better look we get to see? You see that one up there? Boom, boom. I mean, I have never seen this kind of activity. Ever. Not one time. So, yeah. It's... Yeah. And also, somebody said my image was actually dim for you guys to see. I'm working on that. It's not dim on my end. Everything's bright. But I don't know why when it goes out to stream or post the video that I make, it's dim. I can't figure it out. I'm still working on it. I've been in some of the OBS forums and things like that trying to figure that out. But I will get it figured out, I promise. But I realize it is kind of dim. So I am working on that. I take criticism really well. So as long as it's constructive and not just meant to be nasty. But okay, so now what I want to do now is I'm going to go over to these scales. Now look, guys, I'm not even going to talk about a G5 storm because that is as bad as it gets. G5 or anything above a G5 is bad. Okay? I mean, most definitely you will probably see some electrical grid issues. You're going to see all kinds of things happening. Alright? But, if we just want to go to the low end, okay, their low end is basically a G3. I don't think there's any way we're getting out of this one without at least seeing a G3. And there's something else I'm going to talk about here in a minute. It's Aurora, okay? And we'll go more into that in just a minute. That's actually a positive thing because they're very beautiful. But they also give us clues on to what's actually going on too. And I'll explain here in a minute. But as you can see here, guys, you know, even at a G3, you do still see issues. I'm not going to read these. You guys can do that if you want. I read them all the time to you guys. You know. But just know that this is just like a thunderstorm warning system. The higher the number, the redder it gets, the deeper the color, the worse the storm is, right? The more powerful it is. Now, also something that this will do, this is a radiation storm monitor here. That's measured by proton flux, protons. Minor, S1 storms, we won't even know it's happening, just so you know. But let me show you where that's at. You see this? See how it's trending up a little bit? You know why? It's because of these. Okay? So there was some extra protons, and that's radiation. So, you know, until we get to S3 and S4 level radiation storms, unless you're flying high latitudes, if you're pregnant and in an airplane, you really don't know a whole lot of, you don't really have a whole lot to worry about there. So, anyway, but the radio blackouts, this is what we see the most often. Okay? This is what we see. So, when we're talking about radio blackouts, we're talking about flares that are causing this, right? So, obviously, an X flare is we start with R3, right? If you go up here, you can see that. See the chart here? You can see X flare right here on the bottom is the beginning of R3. Notice how the R4 is very, very small. I don't know why that is, but that's just what they did. And then R5 at the top, right? And, you know, it's a bigger area. And it goes higher than that. It just, they don't have numbers for it, right? So, that's just what it is. Now, again, remember, their forecasting is saying this is the biggest storm watch that the Earth's been under since 2005. They have not issued a G4 storm watch since 2005. That's 18 years ago. 19, I guess. Depending on what month it was in. Almost 20 years. Almost 2 decades. So, I just want to point that out, guys. So, now, I'm not going to spend a whole lot more time on those grids, but I do want to show you one more thing here. And it's important to see what I'm getting ready to show you. Okay, this is the 211. It's the purple version. Okay, you see this? That's a coronal hole. That's the corona. The atmosphere of the sun opens up, exposes the surface, and highly charged particles just flow out, right? And they get here on a magnetic connection line. When that is happening, okay, especially around CMEs, because of magnetic polarities, the coronal holes have a tendency to steer, to either pull or push CMEs in other directions. So it's important to understand that, because you got a coronal hole down here. So you got a lot of these eruptions happening, especially in the southern part of the sun here. Those are all happening, and when they are happening, and there's a coronal hole right there, chances are they're influencing one another. Okay? So, also, I want to show you, watch right here, you're going to see a filament. A magnetic, it's basically a magnetic connection line with highly charged particles on it. You're going to see it erupt off right here. See that? Okay, and we're going to take a look at that in a different angstrom. But this right here, do you see how the atmosphere of the sun just kind of rippled like a big shock wave? That's exactly what that was. That was a shock wave just rippling across the sun. That's what happened there. Okay? And it just kept happening. So, I want to make sure that we're focusing on the right things. I don't want to overblow this situation. I don't want to underplay it either. Okay? So what I will say, I've already told you what I think as far as my opinion on percentages of what might happen. If everything is a perfect storm situation, yeah, we're getting a G5. Okay? If it's slightly lower than that, we'll probably land on a G4. Now, a G3, in my opinion, we're going to get there. But as far as going over a G3, I say it's probably I don't know, maybe a 55% chance we don't make it past a G3. Maybe a 50% chance, something like that. Does it really matter? You know what I mean? My opinion on that part of it? Not really. But I just want to let you guys know that. I think there's a better chance of us getting to G4 than there isn't. Okay? So this is the 304 angstrom, and I'm showing you guys this because this is ionized helium. And we're able to see these magnetic filaments that erupt off easier. Okay? So they show up as dark shadows, and I showed this yesterday. You're going to see this one erupt off. It's kind of hard to see, but I'll tell you when it happens. It's getting ready to. Right about there. See that? And it did come somewhat at the Earth. So I'm not sure if that's actually going to hit us. I think the majority of that went north of Earth, but you know, I can't say for certain. Now, what I will say about this other stuff, guys, you see all this stuff hanging around here? We don't always see that here on the 304. What we call that solar rain. And again, it's magnetic connection lines, highly charged particles traveling on those lines. Okay? So it's not rain in the sense of water falling. It's actually highly charged particles, plasma, moving back down to the sun and spinning like that. Okay? It's not like wind here on the planet where low pressure rushes in to fill in high pressure and vice versa, and we see all these tornadoes and stuff. It's not like that. That's not what solar wind is. It's highly charged particles or plasma. What is plasma? Basic level, guys. You got solid, liquid, and gas, right? We know that. Those are the three states of matter. Well, there's a fourth state of matter, right? Plasma. What is plasma? It is simply a gas that has a charge. Negative, positive, right? So that's what we're talking about here. That's why magnetics is so important. But you can see all this stuff just, the sun is just so active right now. And I know that you guys hear the excitement in my voice, so I get it. I'm probably going to get ripped up in the comment section, but that's okay. It really is. Okay? But yeah. Okay. Leon, I'm not sure what that's for. What equation that is. But I'm not really paying much attention to the ins and outs of the chat room there. But guys, if you could, give me another roll call in there. I like to know where people's at, you know? Just a regional area. It'd be cool. Okay, so they are now switching over to the day here. You see this? So within the next 24 hours, they're expecting us to be at least at a G1. Okay, see that? So on the 10th, guys, that's not showing up here. They haven't changed this yet. So remember that. So on the 10th, that's tomorrow. Alright? You guys hearing what I'm saying here? On the 10th, G4. I don't know what time they're expecting that. My guess is it's probably going to be round about the same time as their higher prediction here. G3, so it'd be early. Well, they're not even having anything on the on that high on May 10th here. So this is their official forecasting. Deep Quick Paul, thanks buddy. Appreciate that. So awesome. Thank you, buddy. I'm not sure what those equations are there, man. Fill us in, man. Fill us in, bud. If you could. What are those equations for? I'm just curious. Man, you guys are from all over the place. I love it. That is freaking awesome. Awesome, awesome. I love it. So, okay, there we go. Now, thank you, Deep Quick. I really appreciate you. Where's everybody from? Let me see here. I got to come back over here and roll this up. Sorry, Ohio, Southern Nevada. Good to see everybody from all over the place. Amarillo, Western Montana. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Thank you, Deep Paul. Hey, Renee, good to see you. Oklahoma? Man, you're dodging tornadoes left and right, aren't you? Hoosiers? That's right, Daryl. I'm a Hoosier. What is a Hoosier? I don't know. Piper Lynn, what's up? Alabama, Scotland. Wow. Hey, Mark. How you doing? That's awesome when I talk to people from across the pond. Miss V is in the hizzy. Fashizzy. Ain't that what Snoop Doggy Dogg would say? Or am I wrong on that? Alright, here we go, Stephen A. We got some Boston people up in here, too. Don't mess with them people from Boston. IG, where you from? Southern California, Mojave Desert. You like the heat. The dry heat. But yeah, guys, so listen. This is, hey, Jennifer, back at you. Linda, what's up? What we got? Good to see you. All right, East Tennessee. Wonder where you're from. Just kidding. Hey, did you guys do okay during the tornadoes yesterday? I know there were some down there. I hope everybody's being safe. There was some bad stuff, guys. And let me say this to you, hey, Ricky, good to see you. Rocky Mountains, baby. Love it. Kathy Paina. She's from, I know where she's from. She's from Hawaii. That's my aloha. What's up, aloha? Hummingbird. Okay. Thank you, Hummingbird, for that feedback. Yeah, thank you. That's helpful, actually. Thank you. Wise Jen's in the house. Muskrat, what's up? Mark. That's right. East Tennessee again, baby. Flashback. That's right, guys. So, now, again, guys. Not really sure what those mean, Leon. I wish I could. Not sure if it's what's going on with that. But, you know. None in the area, but it was bad. Yeah. Guys, I seriously, it was like Moses came back for a minute and like parted these storms for where I live. We literally went north and south. And we're talking particularly dangerous PDS warnings. Hey, Genius, thank you, Genius by Birth. Thank you for the gift of memberships. So much appreciate you. You continue to support like that. It's awesome. So thank you for that. My wife says thank you too. My family says thanks. I wish there was a better word for that, you know, when showing, gratitude. It doesn't seem like that's enough. You know what I mean? But I will say this too, guys. Check this out. What we're gonna do is I will go over here to my channel real quick. I'm gonna go here, and for those that don't know, I'm doing a giveaway. And it's not much, but it's something. I wish I could do more, but I can't. If you guys come over here, this video here, if I could get one of my mods to put a link in the chat for this video for me, I'd really appreciate it. If you come over to this video and give it a 60 to 2-minute watch and leave me a comment, I'm going to do a random draw next week. I was going to do it this week, but with everything going on, I'm not. I got some discontinued bicycle playing cards that are called, guess what? Sunspot. There's a whole family of these. They quit making them in 2018, and my awesome wife found a whole brick of them. But I'm going to be doing a giveaway there, guys. Okay? But if you guys scroll down, if you want to know what they look like, they're right here on this thumbnail. Here's that whole family of them. But I'm going to be giving the Sunspot are the ones they quit making. But it applies to what we're doing here, right? So, but yeah, so come watch that for a couple minutes and leave me a comment. You can leave more than one if you want. And I'm going to hit it in a random number generator. I'm going to give away 2 decks. If we get a bunch, I might give away 3 or 4. We'll just have to wait and see. But if you do that, I would really appreciate it. Leave a like while you're there. And please, guys, come back to this one too and leave me a comment. And maybe I'll do a second draw for this video. Since we got a lot of people here, let's just do that too. I'll do a second draw on a different day. Leave me a comment underneath this video. Come back to the video and leave me a comment. And I'll do the same thing, but I'll pick a different style of deck. Okay? These are really cool cards. They're high quality too. I used to do some sleight of hand magic, and they work really well for that too. They hold up to a spring shuffle, if you guys know what that is, a reverse palm, where you're actually bending cards and stuff. They go right back. They're really good quality cards. Bicycle typically is. But these themed ones are awesome. So leave me a comment underneath this video too. And we'll do it for this one also next week. Okay? I'll do the card giveaway on Monday, and then I'll do the other one, I don't know, Thursday or Friday. And if you're a member, I'm going to do it inside there too. I've got like a couple hundred decks, guys. That's how awesome my wife is. So, anyway, I'm not going to spend a whole lot more time on that, but I do want to show you Matthew's channel real quick. Okay? I mentioned him earlier. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over here and we're going to check it out. This is his channel. He runs a 24-hour live stream. It's 4K. it shows all the stuff that's going on. It's awesome stuff. So please do that. Come over here and check this out. He's a great dude. He has fiber optics put in like last year. And if you don't know much about that, that's very important to get that when you're trying to live stream something with a lot of good graphics and detail. So you can definitely see what he's doing here. This is all his own work, guys. It's just awesome stuff. So go show him some support. Give him some love. Get over and check out all my moderators. Please go check out their channels. Trinity, Ripper, Ilea. Check out Adam and Dex over on Marfugal. Most of you guys probably know who they are. I will also say this too. If you want to learn some really good stuff, college level stuff, in a way that you can understand it, go check out Dr. Tamitha Scove's channel. She is, I've learned so much from watching her. It's unreal. And she explains it in a way that you can understand. She's a professor at this stuff. She's one of the leading people in space weather. She's actually been on the Weather Channel and everything else. So, I mean, she knows what she's talking about, guys. And if you want to know the mechanics or even just why things happen the way that they do, go over here and check her out, okay? Tamitha Scove. Dr. Tamitha Scove is her channel name. So, I tell you what, I could probably... Let's do this real quick. I can probably just go down. Well, I might have my awesome channel list here. Is my nope. Okay, hold on here, guys. Sorry. I'll just do it this way. Right here. Here's her channel, Space Weather Woman. Okay, Dr. Tamitha Scove. Please go check her out. I guarantee you, she's going to be on live within the next day or two. She's already talked about the first few eruptions, but now we got a lot more to talk about. Okay, so please go check her out. She's trying to broadcast it in a way it's almost like a weather report, and she does an awesome job with it. I can't say enough how impressed I am with the information and the way she presents it. It's just, I've never talked to her, just in a comment section I have. She's answered a few of my questions, which was very helpful. But yeah, guys, so go check her out over here too. And just a lot of other channels. Go check out my awesome channel list. And anybody that I subscribe to, you can all see on my page. There's going to be people on there that you guys are probably think that they're hateful, mean people. And I don't like push those people. Go watch them, that kind of thing. But I still watch them myself because I can decipher out. I don't care if they're mean. I just want the information. Mean people can be very intelligent sometimes. Well, a lot of the time. So, you know, I don't encourage people, but unless you can handle that, is what I'm trying to say. You can sometimes get some really good information from people that are very, very nasty, but it is what it is. I'm not that way, and I won't push people over to their channels. That's why I don't say them more often. So, anyway, guys, I am going to go ahead and pop off. I just want to say thanks to all my moderators once again. Anybody that donated today, thank you for the super chats. Thank you for the gifted memberships. Guys, please turn on your notifications. Come back, leave me a like and a share. Leave me a comment and let me know where you're from. That's all you got to do under this video. If you do that, next week, I'm going to be giving away a couple decks of cards. And they're really cool. So, yeah, if you want to know more about that, just reverse this video for a minute and you'll see it. It was about 5 minutes ago. So, alright, guys. Love all you guys. And let me say this. No fear. Absolutely no fear, please. Okay? There's no sense in being scared of any of this. Accent Nacho, what's up? So, don't be afraid. Just be aware. If you're doing all you can't do anymore. So there's no reason to be afraid of something you can't control. Okay? This is nothing to be afraid of. Hey, Hilly. Good to see you, bud. Good to see you, my friend. Hey, Aaron's in the house. Jill. Oh, Trinity's going live, guys. Get over there and check her out. Okay? Trinity, drop your link. Or, guys, you can just simply click on her name there and go to her channel. So, Anyway, guys, I am going to pop off here, guys. Yeah, no fear, Trinity, no fear. There's Piper Lynn. Oh, see you later. Bye. She's going live. Free college class. That's right, isn't it, Ricky? It's awesome, isn't it? Yes, it is. And guys, get over and check out Ron, Emergency Management Associates. Great earthquake stuff. Great seismic activity. That's going to be on the uptick with all this, too. All kinds of stories. Dr. Tim. Yeah. Really? I didn't know that, Kathy. Awesome. That's cool. All right. But Aurora, guys, you guys get any really cool Aurora photos? Send them to me. My email's in the description box. If you could, I'd really appreciate that. So, but get over and check out Trinity, guys, please. She's live streaming. She does a really good job in all the stuff she talks about over there. She does some deep dives into some really interesting topics. So it's fun. People are nice there too. So anyway, guys, again, one more time. I know I'm dragging this out, ain't I? So I'm going to go ahead and end it. So, all right, guys, God bless. Yahusha saves. And as always, you can drink this Kool-Aid.